Welcome back, everybody. We are joined tonight by founder and CEO of Organic Body Essentials and Obey, Vickie Natale. Vickie, welcome to the show. Just from the jump here, I want to talk about, obviously, we're talking about health, wellness, what people can do to keep themselves healthy. And I feel like so much of what we see out there today, whether it's the food we consume, the air we breathe in so many respects, but also the skincare that we use, it doesn't feel like anything is natural anymore. And you and I first met a couple of months ago, I think, and our first conversation was really about the fact that people go out of their way so oftentimes to pay a little bit more at the grocery store for the organic products, the organic fruits, the organic vegetables. We've all been told how much better they are for us than things that have pesticides in them and that, are genetically modified. But you brought up a great point to me, and I don't think people think about it enough. The skin is your body's biggest organ. And if you're going out to the grocery store and you're spending all this money on organic food, and then you're going and you're putting products on your skin that have chemicals in them it's not organic, it's not natural, that's a big problem, right? Please explain, because I thought that your points were so strong on all of this.
Well, thank you, Laura, for having me on. It is an overwhelming pleasure to be here with you today or tonight. And yes, our conversation did lead to that. That's really how the whole company began, was an education on what we're doing with our skin. I was very much into organic foods and fruits and vegetables and, everything that I could find that didn't have pesticides on it. This was quite a few years back. And it was through a search for organic skin food, because I knew that it was important to apply something on your skin that's going to absorb and go right into your bloodstream. You needed to put on healthy food on your skin, but it didn't exist. It wasn't out there. And so that was about 9 years ago in 2014. And we were the first certified organic skincare on the market.
Wow.
Because there wasn't certified organic skincare at the time. And it was an education to explain to people there are pesticides, there's GMOs, just like you say, there's very harmful chemicals that are in food that people put in their body, and that goes right into their liver, and that liver starts to try to break down the toxins and the chemicals and things, but it has a hard time, especially with all the other, like you mentioned, the environmental concerns that we have. So when we put it on our skin's taking that right into our bloodstream, and then that's going directly to the liver. And it's not really being digested even through our stomach system. So it's pretty harsh. And so putting actual organic food on our skin is the healthiest thing to do. And when you say natural can sometimes also make you think it's good. But if you think you're going to the grocery store, you're going to buy either a natural, orange or an organic orange. They're both naturally occurring,
True.
right? So, so we could have natural skincare, but you're still loaded with toxins and pesticides and everything else, because that was what was used to create that. If it was a food, ours is organic food, and it's organic food to put on so that your skin can breathe right. It can be healed up where there's been damage, and then of course taking it into your system, and that won't harm your liver that way. So,
well, we all want that, don't we? And it's funny because I've kind of gone through a process. I feel like this probably happens to a lot of people in my youth. And it's so sad, Vickie, that I even say that, because that means like I'm getting older. But when I was young, I remember I was so guilty of so many bad things, like for your body. For example, I used to go to tanning beds when I was in high school. And my mom, I remember, just constantly being like, that is going to ruin your skin. One day you'll see. And I was like, whatever, I'll never get old. And then, of course, I got a little older and I was like, maybe this isn't great for my skin. So then I stopped going to tanning beds, thank goodness. But with all of it, I never really considered what I was putting on my body, honestly, until I became pregnant with my son, Luke, with my first child. And then I remember kind of doing a lot of research and reading about pregnancy. And I was very conscious of everything I was eating because I was like, oh, well, if I'm eating it, then, the baby's getting it and it's going to be a good thing or could be a bad thing, depending on what you're putting in your body while you're pregnant. But then I started thinking, well, what about what I'm putting on my skin? And it was something I had never honestly considered before I got pregnant, because that, of course, also will ultimately go to either help or potentially harm your baby. And I don't know, I look around at where we are in so many respects in our society. And look, people do live longer now than they did, 100 years ago, no doubt. But I feel like the instance of so many diseases is it seems to be on the rise. People don't feel like they're doing enough to take care of themselves these days. And to do something like use organic skincare is a very easy change for people to make that I think could really benefit them. And I have to say, your products, I actually use your products and they are fantastic. Not only do they all, it's funny because they all have a very unique smell, but I don't even know if I can say it smells organic. I'm like, this is the real deal. When you open it up, it's like the real thing. I recently was in Colorado for a week with my kids and my husband for my kids' spring break. Let me be honest, I live in Florida. We got a lot more humidity here in Florida. So I was like, we're going to Colorado. I better make sure that I pack extra of your skincare line. And the stuff that I used out there, the body cream, the very thick body cream, what's it called, Vickie?
That's the extreme. That's the extreme hand and body cream. Yes.
Let me tell you something. Saved my entire trip because we've gone to ski in Colorado for 15 years now. Like every spring break, this is always our tradition. And every time we go, I'm always like itchy and dry, and I feel like my skin is awful. Thank you for your skincare line, because it truly saved me while I was out in Colorado. But I think that people, once they learn about organic skincare, and once they realize that, man, I'm doing so many other things. I'm trying to exercise, I'm trying to drink more water, I'm taking vitamins, buying organic. This is a way as well to keep yourself healthy. And I love that it's something that you started. What were you doing before, by the way, you started the skincare line?
Well, I started as an engineer, and manufacturing was my specialty, and I was in medical device. So I had a medical device company, and I ran that for 15 years, but the recession hit. And I wasn't prepared for that. I was debt heavy and it just couldn't make it. So closed it down. And for the first time in my life, I went on unemployment, and I really didn't know what to do. I had not really worked for anyone else for so long. So basically, and I know you pray too with Eric, with your kids. Yes. It was through prayer. It was through what God showed me to start this company, because it wasn't even starting a company when I started it. It was literally the need for me because I couldn't find it. So I started making the hand and body cream, the one you mentioned there. Yeah. That was the first product, because I had, like you, my skin would crack and bleed. So I couldn't find anything out there that helped the conventional products. And so that's how I started it, was made that cream. And then I started going to natural food markets, because they were the only ones really at the time that understood what this was. And so I drove up and down California. About every 5 weeks, I would throw the stuff I made in the back of my car, and I would drive up and down and stop in all these natural food markets and meet up with the owners or the managers and explain what I did. And then they brought the products in and had me come and teach their customers by, standing in their store. And I did that multiple times, and that launched the brand. And so, and it really was about explaining, just like you were saying, we don't want aluminum on our skin. We don't want things like ethanols and phthalates and parfums, and there's parabens. All of these things are endocrine disruptors, and that really gets in and wreaks havoc with our hormonal system. So it throws our bodies off, and not only that, those things are triggers, and you can go on the NIH website too and find this information. These very things, if you just, all you do is turn around your conventional product, take a look at the ingredients, start looking them up. Look them up on NIH's website too, because they'll tell you the harm those things do to your body. Everything from allergies to cancer, skin issues, eczema, psoriasis. It's tormenting people, the conventional products that are out there. So it was in really doing all that teaching that it made the brand start to be recognized. Whole Foods took it on. A lot of different, large companies took it on. But with COVID, things switched so drastically. People started shopping so much more online. So we made a decision, and I say we because a few years into this, my adult children, Sabrina and Joshua, joined me, and they're still with me. We work all the time together, and we decided to go direct to consumer almost entirely. So we're direct to consumer through our websites, and that's how we now are, nationwide. We stay only in the U.S. At this time, but that's what we did, was we just taught people why they didn't want these preservatives and things on their skin that would ruin them. Just a quick little story too. In the past, I remember a friend of mine had her husband, and they had gone out for New Year's Eve, and he loved hamburgers from McDonald's, so he put one in his tuxedo pocket and ate the other one, forgot that it was in his pocket.
Oh no.
And so a year goes by, and now it's New Year's again, right? So he pulls the tux out to use it.
Oh my God,
and he reaches in the pocket and opens it up, and the hamburger looked just the same as you would get it when you ordered it. So you're eating preservatives, your skincare products on your shelf for a year or 2 years or 3 years, that's sitting there and looks and smells the same because it's got chemicals in it to make it do that. And that's why our food, we do say use it within a reasonable amount of time, just like you're going to open up your yogurt and you're going to use that within a reasonable amount of time. And, that's the same concept behind what we make. It's actual food, and you're feeding your skin that food. So it's, as your largest organ, you're going to feed it every day the healthy things. You're going to see those changes. We have testimonials galore of people that had 2 years of their, dermatologist telling them, put this on, do that. Nothing worked until they put our face cream on, and their eczema vanished, their psoriasis vanished, the sunspots, all of those things. There's a ton of excellent ingredients that come from God in these products, from the plants he made.
Well, it's so smart. It makes sense. And it's funny because I think I was also one of those people who's like, oh, well, if you can buy it in a store, obviously it's okay for you. And then you think back to not that long ago, Vickie, whenever they were selling like Coca-Cola, didn't it start with like cocaine in it? I mean, yes. There were some things that were very questionable that were sold to consumers. And it wasn't until somebody was like, wait a minute, maybe this isn't how you want to go about it, that people took a step back and they were like, oh, that could be problematic. And I think what people find is once they switch to organic, whether it's eating organic or using organic skincare, there is a difference. And I think it's probably, once you see it, you can't unsee it. It's hard to go back the other way. And congrats to you for kind of following your heart and following prayer, because obviously it has worked. And I think what you're doing is so great for so many people. Any tips you would give people today that they could take advantage of? And let's tell people your websites too, because you have 2 websites, right?
Sure. Yes, we do. We have, I'll just say that real quick, organicbodyessentials.com. That's organicbodyessentials with an S at the end.com. And then we have, the other one is obe.organicbodyessentials.com. And those 2 websites, the difference is that the organicbodyessentials.com is the skincare website, and then the obe.organicbodyessentials.com is our industrial hemp website. And that industrial hemp is it's our industrial hemp line that follows our rightful President Trump's U.S. 2018 Farm Bill, and that's with all the regulations and requirements there for it's CBD line is basically what it is, but it's for pets, it's for humans, it's for so you can check that out there too.
I give my dogs the little dog CBD little tablets, the vitamins, and for people who really don't understand CBD, and maybe you're a little wary of it. What can you explain to people about it?
Well, it's cannabinoids and terpenes from the industrial hemp plants. So back 100 plus years ago, when Abraham Lincoln said the most important crop we can plant will be industrial hemp, it's going to be used for, everything from rope to textiles to medicinal benefits. And so it's a non-hallucinogenic. It may look like pot, but it's not. It's the same plant, but it's industrial hemp. So it's grown not for the purpose like that became for pot. That's where it kind of got muddy, and our government stepped in and they silenced it because they didn't want some of the benefits that were happening, because this is from a long time ago. You would go into a shop and that you could find industrial hemp oil, and so and that would be used for multiple things, from anxiety, depression to aches and pains, and it's numerous. I can go on.
Well, Vickie, why would they want to promote that whenever you have the pharmaceutical companies out there pushing their medications on everybody? I mean, obviously we see how upsetting that whole thing is. Why would you want to go a natural route whenever here's some drugs you can take? Why would you want to get rid of COVID in a very simple way when instead we can charge people a lot of money for a bunch of vaccines? But I digress. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, so basically what they are is the cannabinoids and terpenes from the industrial hemp plant will talk with our endocannabinoid system. And so when those oils are in there, and I'll explain a little bit more about terpenes too, but that then can figure out, it's almost like inside there's a whole lot of things working and not working. And some doctors necessarily can't see it, or even x-rays can't see certain things, but the inside, the blood can, and the way that it connects with the correct ingredients that need to help it readjust, come back to normal. And so that's the endocannabinoid system. The cannabinoids in the industrial hemp plant happen to be excellent at knowing what those needs are. So when you put that in your body, you'll start to see those changes that happen over some time. Sometimes it's overnight, sometimes it's a month or two. I had a bulge disc in my neck, and it was what began this line. And it's funny. It's like everything that that's my point too. Is like, if you want to start a business or something, what is it that you need that you can't find?
Yeah,
do it.
Exactly.
So I started working with the cannabinoids, and I realized after about a month I could turn my neck completely again. The swelling completely went down because it brought down the inflammation, and that's on the NIH website too. So everything I'm saying, you can just go to nih.gov and type CBD and whatever condition you're worried about or concerned about, and you'll most likely find studies done with those results showing that it actually works. And terpenes are from any plant besides iceberg lettuce. So terpenes are what make the chemical.
My iceberg wedge salad is not doing anything for me, is what you're telling me, Vickie.
Especially with bacon on it and everything,
There you go. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So, so every plant, though, if you think about lavender, for example, and you smell lavender, well, that's the terpenes from the lavender flower. So that oil has the terpenes in it that are beneficial to calm you, and they smell great. So when you mentioned that when you open the products, you smell this, you smell that. Well, that's earth. That's the plants. That's right. What you're smelling. That's the beauty of using plant ingredients is we already remember we're made from dirt, so everything kind of connects. We put on what our bodies are most familiar with, and we get the best results.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and the smell, the frankincense and myrrh smell, I felt very much like I was in like the whole Christmas story with the wise men bringing it as well, and I'm like, I'm putting this on my face. But it's also fantastic. Congrats on everything you're doing. I know it's not easy to kind of just start from scratch and say, I'm just going to go for it. But what a success, and how cool that your kids are also able to work with you, and that it's been so successful for you guys, and that you're helping people too. And I think that's probably something that not everybody can say about what they do, to be able to it's beneficial for all. So Vickie Natale, thank you so much for joining us here on The Right View. I feel very well informed now, and hopefully our audience is too. Organic Body Essentials, Obey, really great stuff. And if you go to the websites, which we'll post as well, and use the code Trump, Vickie has been very kind to give our audience a discount as well. Thank you so much, Vickie. Thank you for joining us here tonight. And to everybody, as always, please make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow for more. And until next time, we'll see you back here for The Right View. At The Right View, we're very proud of the fact that we are independent. We get to say everything that we think and everything that we feel. We have no woke companies guiding us or telling us what we can and cannot say. We are always going to shoot you straight and give you the facts as we know them. And that's why it's important to support independent outlets like The Right View. My name is Lara Trump, and I think Mike Lindell is a patriot. He is someone who loves this country, is willing to fight for this country. I love MyPillow because not only are MyPillows made in the USA by American workers, but they're great products, and they're so great that not only do I use them in my own bed at night, my children actually requested. My daughter the other day went to the closet and pulled out a MyPillow and said, "This is the pillow that I want to sleep with." And I gotta tell you, she loves it and will have nothing to do with any other pillow. So it's a big hit around our house. My dogs also happen to sleep on MyPillow dog beds. So all around the Trump household, we're big fans. If you go to mypillow.com today and use promo code Trump, again, promo code Trump, you will not only save money, but you will help us continue this show and other shows like it and help us continue the fight for the future of America. Inflation has impacted all of our lives. I don't think anyone can go to the gas pump or the grocery store without noticing that it is a major factor. And unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like it's going down in the way that we would like it to. And one way to protect your money is by investing in precious metals, gold and silver. That's always been a great way to make sure that you keep your money and you keep it safe. When you go to bh-pm.com, use promo code Trump. That way, if you decide you want to invest in gold and silver, you'll save yourself a little bit of money. We live in a time that's very interesting. A lot of us out there feel like a lot of our rights are slipping away. And if you're like I am and you want to have the right to choose whether or not to have a vaccine, how to live your life freely, and you're looking for a great doctor, I've heard amazing things about Dr. Sherwood. He's somebody who you should really check out and check into, and it'll help support this program and keep us going. So go to sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. Again, sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. You can save yourself some money and help us keep our program going. So I'm like a lot of people. I love to wear an Apple Watch, but I hate how it looks. And I scoured the internet to search for the best looking Apple Watch cases I could find, and I found it. goldandcherry.com. They have absolutely beautiful watches, as you can see here. Everything is waterproof. Everything looks good with different outfits. You can get sporty, you can get fancy, but they are great quality, made out of Delaware in the United States of America. And they have been kind enough to give me a promo code that I can share with you if you want to get your hands on one of these as well. It's Lara T, L-A-R-A-T is the promo code to get yourself a discount at goldandcherry.com. And not only do they make Apple Watch cases, they also make great products for iPads and iPhones, keyboards, your desktop, everything you could possibly need. Goldandcherry.com. Use promo code LaraT so you can get yourself one of these today too.